Goku. Alright, let's talk about Goku, the guy who just refuses to stop getting stronger. If there's a transformation out there, you know he's gonna get it. It all started on Namek, when Frieza decided to take things way too far and turned Krillin into space dust. That was it. Goku snapped, the skies turned dark, and suddenly, boom. Golden hair, green eyes, and a power so overwhelming, even Frieza was sweating bullets. The legend of the Super Saiyan was real, and Goku was living it. But of course, one power-up wasn't enough. He trained, fought tougher opponents, and pushed himself beyond limits no one thought possible. When Cell showed up, Goku already had Super Saiyan 2 in his back pocket, though he let Gohan take the spotlight on that one. But then came Majin Buu, and Goku decided, you know what? Let's take this further. Enter Super Saiyan 3, the form that made his hair ridiculously long, erased his eyebrows, and nearly broke the planet just by powering up. Even King Kai was like, dude, chill. But Goku, he was just getting started. Then came the gods. Beerus, the Destroyer, rolled up and made it painfully clear that even Super Saiyan 3 wasn't enough. So what does Goku do? He pulls together a Saiyan prayer circle, absorbs some divine energy, and unlocks Super Saiyan God. Slimmer, faster, and rocking that red hair, Goku actually gave Beerus a run for his money. But because he's Goku, he took that godly power, mixed it with regular Super Saiyan, and boom, Super Saiyan Blue. Stronger, more controlled, and with a nice new hair color. But it still wasn't enough. Then came Jiren, the guy built like a walking brick wall, and Goku found himself completely outmatched. Until he wasn't. Enter Ultra Instinct. No thinking, no wasted movement, just pure reaction. His body dodged attacks before his brain even processed them. Jiren, who had been slapping everyone around, suddenly couldn't land a hit, and when Goku finally perfected the form, glowing silver with power beyond gods, he wasn't just fighting, he was untouchable. And the crazy part, he's still not done. Every time we think he's reached his peak, he just laughs, eats a big meal, and finds a new form. That's Goku for you. Always pushing limits, always chasing the next challenge, and always making sure no one else gets to keep the spotlight for too long. Future Trunks. Future Trunks is the guy who showed up out of nowhere, looking cool as hell, and instantly became a fan favorite. I mean, come on. First time we see him, he turns Super Saiyan and one-shots Frieza. Goku needed a full-on emotional breakdown to get there, but Trunks? Nah. He just pulls up, swings his sword, and boom, no more Frieza. And the best part? He did it with zero effort. But let's rewind a bit. Trunks grew up in a world that was straight up hell. Androids 17 and 18 wiped out almost everyone, including Goku, Vegeta, and all the other heavy hitters. He had no one to rely on except Gohan, who trained him like a big brother. And when Gohan was killed too, that was it. Trunks lost it, his rage exploded, and just like that, Super Saiyan. No ancient legend, no grand battle, just pure heartbreak turning into raw power. Fast forward to the Cell Games timeline, and Trunks wasn't satisfied with just being a Super Saiyan. He trained in the hyperbolic time chamber with Vegeta and came out looking huge. This was his version of Super Saiyan Grade 3, a bulked up, ultra-powerful form that unfortunately had the speed of a brick. He learned the hard way that Cell wasn't just gonna stand there and let him land hits, but hey, at least he looked cool trying. Then came Goku Black. And let's be real, that was personal. This dude hijacked his master's body, wiped out humanity again, and made Trunks' life even worse than before. But Trunks doesn't back down. He gets even stronger. He pushes past his limits and unlocks Super Saiyan Rage. It wasn't quite blue, but it was something. A mix of godly Kai and pure Saiyan fury. And the way he finished Zamasu, with a spirit sword made from the hope of humanity? Chef's kiss. Trunks has always been different from other Saiyans. He doesn't fight just for fun or to push himself. He fights because he has to. His world depends on it, and even after everything, he keeps going. No matter how bad things get, he refuses to give up. Future Trunks isn't just a warrior, he's a survivor. And every time he comes back, you know he's bringing something new to the table. Vegeta, the prince of all Saiyans, the man with the biggest ego and an even bigger chip on his shoulder. If there's one thing you can count on, it's that this guy refuses to be left behind. When Goku first turned Super Saiyan, Vegeta took it personally. Like full-on I will die trying levels of personal. And that's basically what happened. After getting wrecked on Namek and realizing he wasn't the legendary warrior he thought he was, Vegeta trained like a maniac. He pushed himself past his limits, nearly died a few times, and finally, boom, Super Saiyan. No epic friendship speeches, no tears, just pure stubborn determination. He was out there screaming at the universe, saying, if Kakarot can do it, I will do it too. And he did. Then came Super Saiyan 2. It wasn't just training that got him there, it was Majin Vegeta. Babidi magic gave him a boost, sure, but let's be real, he was already at that level. He just needed a reason to let go. And what better reason than his eternal rivalry with Goku? That fight in the Buu saga? Peak Vegeta. The pride, the arrogance, the self-awareness, it was all there. And let's not forget the gut punch moment when he knocked out Trunks and sacrificed himself. That was the first time Vegeta fought for someone other than himself. Fast forward to Super, and Vegeta isn't just keeping up, he's setting new bars. Super Saiyan God? He skips the ritual and just trains his way into it. Super Saiyan Blue? Mastered it alongside Goku, proving once again that he refuses to be second place. And then, when he saw Goku going Ultra Instinct, oh, that lit a fire under him. He didn't try to copy Kakarot, he did his own thing. That's how we got Super Saiyan Blue evolution. Stronger, tougher, and fueled by pure willpower. And that's the thing about Vegeta. Goku loves the thrill of a good fight, but Vegeta? He fights because it's who he is. He refuses to be outdone, refuses to quit, and will grind until he's at the top. He may never say it out loud, but deep down he's always chasing Goku, pushing him forward just like Goku pushes him. And honestly, that's what makes Vegeta the most relentless warrior in Dragon Ball. Gohan. Gohan's power has always been a mystery. One minute, he's this shy, book-loving kid, and the next, he's headbutting Raditz and making grown Saiyans question their life choices. From day one, it was clear. This kid had something special. When Goku and Piccolo trained him, they realized Gohan had these insane bursts of strength when he got angry. But anger alone wasn't enough, he needed control. That's where the hyperbolic time chamber came in. Training with Goku, he finally cracked it. Super Saiyan. And not just any Super Saiyan. Gohan went from nervous kid to a warrior with intent, no more relying on rage alone. This was discipline, skill, and raw talent all coming together. But Super Saiyan wasn't where his story peaked. That moment came in the Cell games. Goku knew Gohan had something even greater inside him, but it took watching his friends suffer to bring it out. When Android 16 gave his final speech about protecting life, and Cell crushed his head like a soda can, Gohan snapped. And when he did, Super Saiyan 2. The transformation everyone remembers. Eyes sharper, hair spikier, and pure dominance. He didn't just fight Cell, he toyed with him. That one-handed Kamehameha at the end? Legendary. After that, though, Gohan kinda took a backseat. He slacked off, focused on school, became the great Saiyaman. We don't talk about that. And by the time Buu showed up, he was kinda rusty. But then, Elder Kai awakened his true potential, and we got Ultimate Gohan. No flashy transformations, no golden hair, just raw, unfiltered power. He stepped up, dunked on Super Buu, and proved he didn't even need Super Saiyan anymore. Broly, the literal definition of built different. This guy didn't just unlock Super Saiyan, he rewrote the rulebook on what a Saiyan transformation could be. Whether it's the classic DBZ Broly or the revamped DBS version, one thing remains the same. When Broly powers up, everyone is in trouble. Back in Dragon Ball Z, Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, we got our first taste of just how terrifying he could be. From birth, Broly's power level was already insane. 10,000 as a baby. For comparison, that's stronger than Raditz, and Raditz was a full-grown warrior. King Vegeta, being the reasonable and totally not insecure guy he was, ordered baby Broly to be executed. But Broly didn't just survive. He and his father, Paragus, escaped planet Vegeta's destruction. Fast forward years later, and Broly's calm, too calm. That is, until he sees Goku. And for whatever reason, just hearing Goku's voice made him lose it. Why? Because baby Goku cried next to him in the nursery. Yeah, Broly held a grudge from infancy, and when he snapped, he went legendary Super Saiyan, a form unlike anything we'd seen before. No golden hair, no slim build, just pure muscle, glowing green energy, and limitless power. He absolutely wrecked Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Piccolo, and Gohan at the same time. It took a last-minute, all-out attack for Goku to land a single decisive hit and put him down, temporarily. Then came Dragon Ball Super, Broly, and this version of Broly, somehow even scarier. Instead of a baby crying trauma backstory, DBS Broly had a tragic one. Exiled as a child to a wasteland planet, forced to survive with just his father. No training, no real experience, just pure instinct. And when Frieza found him, game over. Bardock. Bardock wasn't your typical hero. He wasn't out here trying to save the universe or be the strongest fighter. He was just a tough-as-nails Saiyan warrior, doing his job. wrecking planets for Frieza. But unlike most Saiyans, Bardock had something rare, a brain and a heart. At first, he was just another low-class Saiyan, blasting through weak civilizations with his crew. But then, after a mission gone wrong, he got hit with a weird psychic power that let him see the future. And what did he see? Frieza wiping out planet Vegeta. That's the moment Bardock realized Saiyans were doomed. Now, most Saiyans, they would have shrugged it off and kept fighting. But Bardock, he wasn't about to just accept fate. He tried to warn everyone, but let's be honest, Saiyans aren't exactly great listeners. No one believed him, not even his crew. So when Frieza's giant death ball came hurling toward the planet, Bardock did the one thing no other Saiyan dared to do. He fought back, alone. And, well, it went exactly how you'd expect. But here's where things get interesting. In Dragon Ball Super, Broly, they gave Bardock a bit of a soft side. Instead of just fighting to the bitter end, he had one final act that changed history. He sent Goku to Earth. Now, this wasn't some grand plan to make him a hero. Bardock just had a feeling that his son had a chance to survive. And guess what? He was right. Cabba, the polite, well-mannered Saiyan who looks more like a high school kid than a warrior. But don't let his small frame and friendly attitude fool you. This guy was the first Universe 6 Saiyan to unlock Super Saiyan, and he did it in the most stressful way possible. The first time we met him was in the Tournament of Destroyers, where Universe 6 and Universe 7 were fighting to see whose Earth would get erased. And right off the bat, this dude was not what we expected from a Saiyan. Instead of showing up with an attitude or picking fights, he was just nice. He literally asked Vegeta to train him mid-battle like some overly eager intern. And Vegeta, being Vegeta, decided to train him the same way an older brother would, by beating the absolute hell out of him. And that's when it happened. Cabba had never even heard of Super Saiyan before, but when Vegeta pushed him hard enough, something snapped. His anger boiled over, his power exploded, and just like that, Super Saiyan unlocked. And for a guy who had never tapped into this power before, he handled it insanely well. He went from getting stomped to actually keeping up with Vegeta for like 5 seconds. Because of course, Vegeta immediately reminded him who the boss was by going Super Saiyan Blue and one-shotting him. Classic Vegeta, but Cabba didn't stop there. Fast forward to the Tournament of Power, and we see just how much he's grown. When Universe 6 was on the verge of elimination, he found himself facing off against Mana, a warrior who literally rolled over him like a bowling ball. And just when it looked like he was down for good, he remembered what was at stake: his universe, his people, and most importantly, his promise to Vegeta. And that's when he did it. Super Saiyan 2. His power skyrocketed, his lightning crackled, and suddenly Mana wasn't looking so confident anymore. He blasted her out of the ring and officially leveled up. Unfortunately, the celebration didn't last long. Frieza, in true Frieza fashion, showed up right after and destroyed him effortlessly. But even though Cabba was eliminated, his impact was huge. He wasn't just fighting for himself. He inspired Kale and Caulifla to unlock Super Saiyan, proving that Universe 6's Saiyans had just as much potential as their Universe 7 counterparts. Caulifla, the Saiyan prodigy with way too much confidence and absolutely zero patience. If Cabba was the polite Saiyan, Caulifla was the complete opposite. She didn't ask to be taught, she demanded it. And when she wanted power, she went and took it. When we first meet her, she's just chilling in Universe 6, acting like a gang leader with her crew of Saiyan rebels. But then Cabba shows up and tells her about Super Saiyan, and she's immediately interested, because obviously being stronger than everyone else sounds awesome to her. But instead of struggling like most Saiyans, she pulls off one of the easiest transformations in history. Cabba gives her a quick tutorial, tells her to focus her energy in her back, which, let's be real, sounded more like a massage tip than a fighting technique. And just like that, boom, Super Saiyan unlocked. No struggle, no emotional breakdown, just a casual, oh, this is kinda cool. But here's the crazy part. Super Saiyan wasn't enough for her. She had it for like 5 minutes before she got bored and decided she wanted Super Saiyan 2. And you'd think that would take some serious effort, right? Nope. During the Tournament of Power, she fights Goku in his Super Saiyan 2 form, watches him move, and basically says, oh, I can do that too. Then she just does it. No deep emotional trigger, no life or death moment, just raw talent. And an attitude that said, if you can do it, why can't I? And the scary part? She was good. She went from never hearing about Super Saiyan to fighting evenly with Super Saiyan 2 Goku in the same day. Sure, Goku was exhausted, but still, that's insane. Her potential was off the charts, and even he admitted it. She wasn't just a quick learner, she was a natural. Kale, the Universe 6 Saiyan who went from shy sidekick to an unstoppable wrecking machine in a matter of minutes. When we first meet her, she's just this quiet, nervous girl hanging out with Caulifla, looking more like a side character than someone who could wipe out half the tournament stage if she sneezed too hard. At first, she's got zero confidence. She sees Caulifla shining in battle, and instead of feeling inspired, she feels like she's just holding her back. And, of course, in classic Saiyan fashion, all those bottled up emotions turn into something way more destructive than a simple pep talk. During a sparring match, she gets jealous of Cabba and Caulifla's bond, and suddenly, boom! She explodes into this berserk Super Saiyan state, looking exactly like Broly from Universe 7, just with a little more emotional baggage. And let's talk about that transformation. Because this isn't your average, oh wow, I got stronger moment. Nope, Kale goes from timid pushover to raging monster who can barely control herself. Her power skyrockets so fast that even Caulifla, the most confident Saiyan ever, looks genuinely worried. And when she fights, it's not even a fight. She just steamrolls through everything in front of her like a runaway train. Goku, yes, Super Saiyan God Goku, tries to stop her, and she just walks through his attacks like they're nothing. Kamehameha? Completely ignored. His punches? Might as well be a gentle breeze. Goku Black. Goku Black, aka Zamasu with an identity crisis, is what happens when you take a god with a superiority complex, give him Goku's body, and let him go full villain mode. Unlike every other Saiyan who unlocked their power through hard fights and training, Black took the ultimate shortcut. He just stole Goku's entire life. But here's the thing. Even though he has Goku's body, he doesn't use it like Goku. While Goku fights with skill, instinct, and years of training, Black fights with this graceful but deadly style, like he's putting on a show. Every movement is almost effortless, like he's taunting his opponents just by existing. And when he first faces off against Goku and Vegeta, he actually holds his own in base form, proving that even without transformations, he's already a menace. Then, just to flex on everyone, he unlocks Super Saiyan Rose, aka the I'm better than you version of Super Saiyan Blue. It's not just a different color, it's his version of divine Saiyan power. Something that fits his whole I'm a god in a mortal's body vibe. And yeah, the pink hair is cool, but what really sells it is how he uses his energy blade. While other Saiyans rely on brute force, Black's out here summoning a giant energy scythe, slicing through dimensions, and creating an army of shadow clones like he's in an anime within an anime. Yamoshi. Yamoshi is less of a character and more of a mythical OG, the first ever Saiyan to unlock Super Saiyan, and the reason why it even exists in the first place. Imagine being so legendary that your transformation becomes a prophecy that haunts Frieza thousands of years later. Yeah, that's Yamoshi. Way back before Saiyans became space pirates for Frieza, Yamoshi was just a warrior on planet Sadala. But unlike the usual punch first, ask later Saiyan mindset, he actually had a cause. He and a small group of rebels stood up against the other Saiyans, trying to bring change. And let's be real, if you're picking a fight with your own entire race, you must have insane confidence, or just crazy power to back it up. Turns out, he had both. At some point when things got desperate, Yamoshi did what no Saiyan had ever done before. He transformed into a Super Saiyan. And back then, this wasn't just a cool power-up with golden hair. This was a game changer. His strength skyrocketed, his aura was wild, and he wrecked everyone in his way. But the thing about being the first is, there's no one to teach you how to control it. He was powerful, but he was still outnumbered. Eventually, he was taken down. But even though Yamoshi lost, his power left a mark on history. His spirit didn't just fade away, it lingered. His story became a legend, passed down for generations, turning into the Super Saiyan God prophecy that Beerus would eventually dream about. And yes, Beerus had a literal dream about this guy thousands of years later. That's how much of an impact he left. Goten. Goten was basically Super Saiyan on easy mode. No long training arcs, no emotional breakdowns, just boom. Blonde hair at the age of 7. Meanwhile, his dad, Goku, had to nearly die on Namek just to unlock it. Goten? He just casually transformed while sparring with Chi-Chi in the backyard. Now, Goten might be Goku's son, but personality-wise, he's way more like a mix of Goku and Gotenks. He's got that same carefree attitude, always smiling, always looking for fun. But he's also got that mischievous side that made him and Trunks an absolute menace together. If there was chaos happening, you could bet these two were right in the middle of it. When Goku found out his kid was already a Super Saiyan, even he was shocked. But let's be honest, Goten's training wasn't exactly hardcore. He mostly trained with Chi-Chi, which, okay, that's kind of scary, and then sparred with Gohan. But it was enough for him to unlock Super Saiyan before even hitting 2nd grade. During the Majin Buu saga, Goten didn't really get his solo moment to shine. But that's because he had something even crazier. Gotenks. When he fused with Trunks, it was game over for seriousness. This was a kid who could go Super Saiyan 3, throw out attacks named after snacks, and still manage to almost defeat Buu. But after Buu, something weird happened. Goten kinda got left behind. In Dragon Ball Super, he barely fights, and he's too busy being a regular kid to really train. And while other Saiyans kept getting new forms, Goten was just there. No Super Saiyan 2, no God Kai. Just a kid growing up way too normal for a half Saiyan. Even in GT, Goten didn't do much. He was more focused on dating than fighting, which, honestly, fair. He grew up in a peaceful time, so he never had that same do-or-die mentality Goku and Gohan had. But here's the thing. Goten's potential is insane. If he got serious about training, he could probably unlock new forms in no time. He just doesn't care enough. But maybe one day he'll get tired of sitting on the sidelines and finally show everyone what he's really capable of.